Morning, Catherine. Sorry, I was trying to restart the microphone.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you.
All right. Here's Angela and Alejandra. Don't know if you have a working microphone. How are you, ladies?
Good morning, Professor. I'm pretty
Morning.
good, thank you. And you?
All right. Pretty well. A little bit sleepy. A
Yes.
little bit. Yeah. I can feel my eyes really heavy. But I was assuming that was going to be the start of this new week. How was your recess?
It was short,
For
but it's
sure.
okay.
Yeah, too short, right? Should have been like at least 2 weeks. The thing is, good morning, everyone. For those of you who are arriving, I think even if it's a week, uh, who got completely disconnected, who completely closed, anything that had to do with the uni, completely over the university during the week. That was a challenge, wasn't it?
Yes, but we have to. I mean, we have 1 week, just 1 week to relax.
All right, all right. I think it's a very very I wouldn't say brave. I would say deserved option, right? And I never thought that we were going to get this at the beginning of a year. I mean, after we were confined and we had to start with online sessions, I never thought that we were going to get some weeks off or days off. I think it's a really wonderful idea for, charging again those batteries and start over again, right? I think I can see here 16 participants, and very briefly, just to refresh what we know in terms of English, I would like to start with a very very silly short game, which is I'm going to name a word, and then um, I'm going to say a name, and you have to say or type. You say or type a word starting with the last letter of the word. Very simple, very easy. Many of you probably have already played this game. If I say, for instance, but it has to be the sound, not the letter. All right? You don't have to pay attention to the spelling, but to the sounds. Okay, so if I say, for example, brown, the color brown, the last sound is so the next word could be, I don't know, nine. Okay, so you focus on the sound, not on the spelling. Okay, for example, the word nine, it's spelled N-I-N-E, but the final sound is right? So you have to think about the sound. Okay, so here's my word. Remember, if your microphone is not working, you have to type the word. If you have a working microphone, you just say it. Okay, so the word is drum. Drum. Carlos Badilla. Let's see if Carlos got the word is drum. Carlos, you have to say a word or type a word starting with the sound Last time I checked, Carlos was here. Carlos, are you here? Yes. has to start with and then you say a name. I always wanted to try this activity, this short activity, in an online setting because it works sort of, it's a fast-paced activity when you play it in a group of people and you are seeing each other's faces, right? And I always had a doubt if it was going to work here. So Carlos, your word is? No word? Does anyone have a word starting with the sound n? Remember the sound n?
Monday.
Monday. Excellent. Thank you, Javiera. Javiera, say a name, please. Give us a name. Monday.
Daniel.
Daniel, all right? Daniel, are you here? So Daniel can choose the diphthong A or just the last vowel sound. Aim, perfect. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel, you have to say a name now. Give us a name. Angela Castro, all right? Angela, your turn.
Morning.
Morning, all right? Give us a name, please.
Emilia.
Emilia, all right? Emilia Espinosa. Emilia?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I couldn't turn on the microphone at first.
Happened to me often.
What? Sorry, I just got into the class right now, so that's why I couldn't activate my microphone.
Here's the trick. Each one of us has said one word. And the last sound of the word should be the initial sound for the next one. I said drum. Carlos said Monday.
Okay.
No, Angela said. Daniel said aim, and Angela said morning. And here's the trick. The game is over.
Oh, okay.
But can you tell me why?
Because of the linking sounds that we saw last classes.
Pay attention to the last sound of the word morning. Why do you think Angela stopped or finished the game?
Because it follows the same sound and it's easier to remember or associate
An answer. Now I'm going to give you the transcription of the word morning.
There is no word starting with the sound n.
Exactly. I was Catherine, right? Exactly. There is no word starting with the sound in English. It's part of what's called phonotactics. I mean, it's not that phonotactics says so, but phonotactics is an area connected with phonology that deals with how sounds are distributed in each of the languages that we human beings speak. And one of the rules is that can never be in initial position. So if you want to finish this game, you have to use a word ending in because no word can start with that, right? So very good. Very, very good. Now, Guillermo, what do you think about this activity? Do you think this activity makes sense that it can be played in an online setting, or actually it works better when we are, facing each other? What do you think, Guillermo? What's your evaluation? I hope your microphone is working after the recess, and I don't think it took a recess, right? Your microphone, Guillermo? Because last time I checked, your microphone was working. Yeah, all right. All right, all right. Let's focus on. I think I'm sharing a PowerPoint slide that says phonological processes, and it's connected with what we're dealing with when we talk about features of connected speech. I understand that. Well, I understand two things. First, we were dealing with features of connected speech micro teaching sessions before the recess. And I also understand that this week we're not supposed to have evaluations, but it's open for you to have the micro teaching sessions if you want. I received an email from Josefina Cubillos the week before going on this recess, saying that the group decided to continue with the micro teaching sessions, right? But on Friday was going to be the day in which we're going to continue, and not today. I think that was for this section, right? Because section 2 we meet on Friday. So if anyone feels that you want to give your teach or deliver your micro teaching session today, feel free to do so. And I really would like to know if anyone besides the group in which Josefina Cubillos is, or which she is part of, is going to have or deliver a micro teaching session on Friday. Is anyone else giving or delivering one this Friday the 13th? Ooh, Friday the 13th. I'm not superstitious. I hope you're not either. No other group is going to give a micro teaching session on Friday. Just I'm sorry. I just remember Josefina Cubillos. Don't remember the names. I would have to check for the name of the other students. Anyway, I'm going to be dealing with phonological processes in this session, which is basically connected or completely connected with features of connected speech, because phonological processes are or are connected with these phenomena that happens when we use a language and we talk fluently and we keep talking and sounds bump into each other and they some sort of way they modify each other, right? Some of them disappear, some of them change some characteristics, etc., etc., etc. So in this case, I'm going to ask Aaron to read the paragraph if you will. Aaron, are you there?
Yes, I can
Thank
do
you.
it.
Could you? Thank you so much. Go on, please.
Okay. In the rapid flow of normal speech, sounds change partially or entirely. The features of sounds in the phonological system of a language can be affected due to the processes that are known as phonological process.
Thank you so much. So as you know, this is basically dealing with features of connected speech, right? I don't read this section that the sounds can change partially or entirely, and therefore we talk about partial modification or changes or complete or full changes. Let's see if we can take a look at the next. So phonological processes, some of them are assimilation, dissimilation, epenthesis, or basically the insertion of a sound that was not there, right? Elision and metathesis. Whenever I think about epenthesis, I cannot help remembering, and I remember I mentioned this before, the times when I went to Colbún in this region when I was very young, and we went there for a vacation. There are some relatives living there, and I remember people inserting an e at the end. So people would say sure, ire, voy a ir al sure. So I always remember this extra sound that was after a final er. So usually words would not end in er, but would end in e. So ir, ire, sur, sure, comprar, comprare. So that is an example of a parenthesis. And a parenthesis is quite interesting, right? Because some people call it an intrusion or an intrusive feature. And we can, as you know, we can talk about an intrusive R, we can, or intrusive we can talk about an intrusive W, right? Even though some people, some specialists called them linking W, linking Y. The thing is that they are not part of the spelling, and they are these features are inserted there, right, in order to provide a non-stop flow, right? So that the idea of basically some people look at it as an intrusion of a sound that was not there and was inserted on purpose to create a sort of flow in the conversation. Okay, I don't know why my cell phone is okay. All right, so assimilation is basically a process, right, in which sounds become more similar, right? It's like whenever you spend more time with people, like when you start hanging out with some people that you become friends with, and then you start being more similar, right? You start sharing the same, talking about the same topics, sharing the same conversations. So essentially, you start looking, or not looking, but behaving in the same way. Same happens with sounds, right? They influence one another, and this influence, right, linguistic influence, may occur between adjacent sounds, contiguous, right, that are next to each other, right, or non-contiguous, which is some sort of at a distance, not really close. one next to each other. Okay, so that's one thing about assimilation, that it could be between contiguous and non-contiguous segments, right? They can be next to each other or separated by some sounds. The direction of assimilation is also important because it can be progressive, right? Progressive, going from left to right, or it could be regressive, backwards, right? Going from right to left. Also, the assimilation can be partial or total, right? Meaning that some sounds, as you remember, let's focus on consonant sounds. Consonant sounds can be described as, in terms of the voicing, in terms of the manner of articulation, and in terms of the place of articulation. Give me just 5 seconds, please. Thank you for those 5 seconds. So if you remember, voicing, manner, and place of articulation are the elements that we used, or features that we use to describe consonant sounds. So if a consonant sound is influencing another or modifying another, and it's just modifying the manner of articulation, then we'll talk about a partial assimilation, or just the place of articulation is going to be modified. Then we talk about a partial assimilation. A total assimilation would be every single feature is being modified, right? We're talking about voicing, manner, and place of articulation. So in general, most of assimilation processes are partial, because not the 3 elements are going to be modified. And also the phenomenon can occur within a word, right, or between the boundaries of 2 words. Okay, and I know that there should be a group dealing with assimilation. Therefore, I wanted to focus only on the same word here, right? Only on the same word, or within the word, basically. Okay. So the word pen, right? The word pen. When we used a phonemic, transcription, right? A phonemic transcription of the word pen, we use these symbols, right? A p, e, and n, and we used these slashes. So this is sort of a general transcription. There are transcriptions that we can find in a dictionary, for instance, pen, and then okay, now I think the microphone is working. I think so. And so this is the way that we transcribed, in which we transcribed pen, right? P, e, n. Phonemic transcription, right? Phonemic. And then now the idea is that we can use a phonetic transcription. A phonetic transcription is the one shown here, and is a transcription that includes more details, right? For example, the word pen has a initial sound, p, which is plosive. In initial position, plosive sound is aspirated, right? So we can find that p is going to be aspirated in initial position. T is going to be aspirated, as well as k. Okay, so we might find all these plosive sounds followed by this a small letter here that's similar to an H, right? But it represents aspiration, right? Now, In this case, the second, the nucleus, right, of this one syllable word is A, right? A is an open mid, unrounded front vowel in general terms, right? And the following sound is N, which is voiced, as you, I'm sure, remember quite well. It's a voiced alveolar nasal sound. So if you don't really remember how to transcribe this specific sound, try to produce the sound as in none, nine, night, never, and you're going to see or perceive that there is vibration if you touch your throat very gently. You're going to see that the tip of the tongue is raised against the alveolar ridge, right? Ridge. And you will also perceive that your nose is vibrating because of the passage of the airstream, right? So that's sort of an easy way to remember how to describe this particular sound if you don't have really, really good memory, right? Like myself. So in this word, right, we can see an example of a simulation within a word. Why? Because the final sound, which is nasal, is influencing the previous sound, which is the vowel. So we're talking about a partial continuous regressive assimilation. Now, partial, because one or two out of these three elements are modifying. Which section do you think is modifying A? The fact that is is voiced, the fact that is alveolar, or the fact that is nasal? What do you think? Is voicing, place of articulation, or manner of articulation the one that is modifying the previous sound? What do you think, guys?
The nasal sound?
Exactly, nasality, because it's a nasal sound. Excellent, excellent. So this is affecting. So when we say p, and we focus on the vowel sound e, is not exactly the same when we say pen, pen, because somehow the system, the phonatory system, is getting ready for which is voiced alveolar and nasal. So the nasality is some sort of it's sort of modifying the sound a, which is not a pure a, as it would say, for example, just p, but pen, pen. Pen. There is a change in terms of the nasality because, as I said before, our system, the mouth, right, the oral, all these articulators are getting ready for the next sound. Okay, so that's why it's partial, because the nasality or the nasal feature is affecting this vowel sound. It is contiguous, right, because they're, as you can imagine, next to each other, right? One next to each other. It is regressive because it goes backwards, right? Because it goes from right to left, okay? And how can we show that this A sound is different and that is being modified by this voiced alveolar nasal sound? Particularly, how can we show nasality in a vowel sound? Basically, by including this small symbol here, right? Which is showing that this sound is nasalized, okay? So what do you think we're going to be using this symbol in a vowel sound when we use this phonetic transcription? Remember, phonetic transcription is more detailed. It gives more information, right? It's enclosed in brackets, these brackets, right? And it contains these, symbols like this small letter resembling an H or this. Which other nasal sounds do you know? Exactly.
And
And exactly. You got it. Excellent. So whenever you have and the vowel sound in this case in a contiguous placement, right next to each other, basically in simple words. If it's next to this nasal sound, it's going to be wearing this little hat, right? There's going to be this diacritic symbol placed above the symbol representing a vowel sound. Okay, so those are two things that we learned today. Maybe you already knew them, but we'll just clarify them, right? The first thing is whenever you're using phonetic transcription, you're giving more information, more specific information as when you are using phonemic. Phonetic provides more information than phonemic. Phonemic is more general, like this. This is an example of phonemic transcription, right? And is enclosed in slashes, right? You can find this in an online dictionary, for example. Phonetic transcription provides more details, right? The transcription is enclosed in brackets, and you are going to see several symbols or diacritic symbols or diacritic marks, such as this one's right here, right? In which aspiration is shown, and this one right here, in which nasality is shown. So you can find this in or above symbols representing vowel sounds. But right before and which are symbols representing nasal sounds. Okay, so as you can see here, in this very strange looking phonetic transcription, we have pen, been, can, seen, been, can, tan. Sometimes they are hard to read because, I guess I get confused in my case because I always tend to remember. I think that it's called virgulilla. This virgulilla, this symbol that we use in Spanish for in ñoño, right? Or ñato. So sometimes I get confused a bit with it, with the symbol. But pen, the already analyzed word, we have bean, right? Bean. Can, we have seen, been, can, and tan. So,
Professor,
yes, sir.
no, I just remember a fact. I remember that vocal coaches tend to have problems with people when they are learning to sing because nasal vowels in singing are considered as failures. So when they are training to, when they are learning to sing, um, they work to not use this kind of regressive assimilation. They learn to how to not uh, pronounce or say the vowels with the nasal sound. So I knew about that, and now you are teaching us about that, and I just remembered that, and I feel like I had some classes of singing, and I realized that, for instance, when I say pen, I tend to just wait and just to I say the S sound uh, without using my nose, and just I just start using the nose when I start pronouncing the N. So I believe that I acquired that feature because of the of that lessons, because it was like, oh, you are pronouncing well, in that classes it was like, or you're pronouncing a vocal with your nose. You can't do that. So I know I was curious about that, because I believe that people who maybe sing had maybe they have the same feature. I mean, they maybe are not pronouncing these vowels with the nasal with their noses, for instance.
What a great contribution, Adam. Thank you so much for that. I think it's very relevant and very pertinent what you're saying. And it's interesting that you are taught in singing lessons to lose some features. Sometimes I guess singers might be taught. I'm talking from the complete and utterly ignorance, right? And please correct me or add information whenever you want, Aaron. Maybe singers might be taught to produce maybe some vowels longer than others. Maybe they are taught to produce more aspirated consonants, right? Um, and it's interesting that you're saying that you're taught to not to assimilate the feature of nasality into the previous vowel sounds. That's very interesting, very interesting. And was that affecting the quality of the singing or the volume of the singer, the volume of the voice, the perception of the listener? In which way it
Uh,
affected?
it is I believe for most vocal coaches, and also the people who sings, and also for people who listen, that nasal sounds are kind of ugly. In For instance, when I'm saying maybe vowels like yeah, you know, any vowel, and I'm using my nose, it is maybe we can. I believe we can recognize when someone is pronouncing a vowel with and using their nose. So when you are maybe singing, it could be it is really noticeable. And when you pay attention, I believe yes, it not vowels with a nose with the sound of the nose are not they just not sound well. I believe that, and also people who work in in music in general, they have a better ears, better ears, so they have a best developed this sense of hearing. So I believe they are more sensible to hear these features.
Absolutely, absolutely, I agree with you. And I think nasality is not really. I don't know if it's not really likable, but in general, if people are very nasal in certain areas of United States, uh, but at the same time, it's a personal quality, right? A personal characteristic of the speaker. If the speaker speaks more with a nasal feature, not specifically just the nasal sounds, but also sounds are modified by this content nasal flow, right? So it's adding this, and I do agree with you that maybe in the musical market is not a likable feature, but it might be an interesting feature for people to actually recognize one voice, like one nasal voice, and say, "Oh, that's I don't know, that's Adam singing. That's I know that voice because of," and you know that this specific characteristic. Um, interesting. I didn't know that nasality was really a feature that you wouldn't like as a singer. Interesting, very interesting.
Yeah. So they try to limit the nasal sounds only to M and N, obviously.
Right, right, right. Very good. I'm very happy for this comment. I think you made my day because I always like to learn something new, specifically connected with music. Very. Thanks so much, Aaron, for the comment. A very easy question for you. I mean, easy from my part, but also to test some of the information given. See if you can explain why some of these words. Um, I mean, why some words have this specific sign, and why some of them have these, or let me check. All of them have this specific sign. Very simple. Just to sum up, right? To recap, what we were or have been discussing in terms of assimilation. Would anyone like to, refer to this question? The question is, we can see this symbol, and we can also see the symbol. They are diacritics or diacritic marks. What do you think they are present here in these transcriptions? Good question, bad question, but I really would like to get a feeling, get a grasp about how's this being understood.
Because in the case of the H, it's because it is a plosive sound, like pen, bean. I mean, ban, can, cam.
Uh-huh, exactly. What else?
And also there's another version. I mean, if the words doesn't have the H, they have another letter that I don't remember, but that means that it are pronounced in a different way, in a more soft way when they're in the middle of the when they are between other words, among other words.
Maybe you mean let me see if I can give you an example, and maybe this is the one you were referring to, Guillermo. Okay, so here's the word top, right? Top. So we can see this symbol, this diacritic symbol, representing aspiration, right? A feature that we don't have in Spanish in initial plosive sounds. No one says I don't know, tapa or traer, right? Aspiration is not present in Spanish. And top ends in p, top, top, top. And this symbol, which looks like this, right? is representing that this plosive sound is unreleased. It's not plosive. It's the lips are not allowing the airflow to leave the oral cavity, which just get to close your lips and that's it, right? Top, top. Hardly ever people would say top, top, right? I remember a song, a singer singing this, get up, get up, get up. So the word was get up, get up, get up. And he would produce this plosive per in final position. But in general, plosive in final positions or middle positions are unreleased. And why don't we see this plosive feature in this transcription? Why not something like this?
Maybe because it has the symbol, the stress symbol in the first letter.
Okay, what if I don't add the stress symbol, like here at the bottom, in this phonetic transcription? This one. Is this correct? By this, I mean this thing, right? Oh, the yellow is not marking, sorry. So is this right? Wrong?
But probably you cannot add an H, a little H, because the sounds cannot be plosive.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not plausible. That's right. That's the answer. Exactly. You got it. So if not plausible, what is it?
Stop.
Okay. Completely sure. So I liked that, well, this is not a plosive sound, so we cannot have something like this. That's not possible, right? That's not possible. We can only have, you know, a plosive sound like p, t, and k. And not only plosive sounds, right? Because this one is also a plosive sound, b, right? So remember, b is a plosive sound, d is a plosive sound, and g is also a plosive sound. But we can only have this diacritic mark next to p, t, and k. What do you think is that? What do they have in common? What do they have different? That's one question I want you to hold on to. Okay. Now, it's time for us to finish the session. Remember, we were discussing assimilation. Assimilation can be, well, assimilation is a phonological process, just like elision, just like metathesis, just like many elements that are part of fluent speech, right? When we talk in general, rapidly or at a normal pace, sounds change, right? Some of them disappear, as I mentioned before, right? As you already know, because you have already researched a little bit about features of connected speech. And among these, we were discussing assimilation today, not specifically assimilation in general, but assimilation, which it was a regressive one, right? We talked about assimilation being progressive or regressive, depending on which sound was affecting which one. So progressive, a sound on the left affects a sound on the right. And regressive, one sound from the right affects right backwards, one on the left. Assimilation can be partial or total, depending on if all the features are modifying the previous or following sound, or just some of them, right? It could be within the same word or between two words, right? For example, this final consonant can be affecting this initial consonant, right? So that would be between two words or in the boundary of two words. And specifically, we're dealing with partial contiguous regressive assimilation expressed in this example, in which within the word, right, this vowel sound was being modified by the final sound. It was a partial assimilation because just the nasality of the consonant sound was influencing the vowel sound, not the place of articulation, not the voicing. It was partial. Contiguous, right? Contiguous because they are next to each other. Sounds that are very close. And regressive because it was from right to left. The assimilation process was going backwards. Okay, I'm sure that the group dealing with assimilation is going to have plenty of information dealing with assimilation between or non-contiguous, right, or between boundaries of words. That's probably going to happen next week on Friday or next week when we start with the market teaching sessions. Before we finish this session, any questions about what we were discussing or I was presenting? Catherine, put and care, voiceless plosive sounds, but excellent, very good answer. Very good answer. Linus versus Fortis. This is for everyone. Take a look at these concepts and see if you can find any information so we can discuss it next class, next session. So I think I'm going to meet you on Friday. On Friday, hopefully, we are going to have a micro teaching session. I understand the group that Josefina Cubillos is part of, right? Any comments or questions about this type of assimilation, type of partial contiguous regressive assimilation? Very hard to digest? Very well then, I wish you the best of luck trying to survive this week after, or this Monday after the recess. Is not difficult, so try to get enough energy from anything, from a cup of coffee or stretch your legs. Have a wonderful Monday. I'll be talking to you on Friday. Goodbye, everyone. You all take care. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, professor. Have a good
Goodbye.
day.